Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we will be discussing the best bodybuilding routine for beginners. So some background about me before we get started. I have been bodybuilding for 8 years. I've done multiple cut and bulk cycles. I've put on about 40 pounds of muscle in about 8 years, which is great for a natural. I put on 25 pounds of muscle in my first 16 months of training, and yeah, this is what I think is the best bodybuilding routine for someone looking to get into bodybuilding starting out, okay? And this is primarily someone who's like actually just new to bodybuilding, someone who really doesn't know what they're doing, but someone who wants to go from skinny to jacked. Here's what I would recommend you do. All right, so step 1, you want to find a bodybuilding split that trains every muscle 1 time a week. Okay, so when I first started bodybuilding, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to be big like John Cena. Okay, this was 8 years ago when I was 20 years old. Okay, 8 years ago this month. So I went on Google and I searched bodybuilding routine, and I found a bodybuilding routine. And this bodybuilding routine was very good, and it was very good because it targeted every single muscle group. And this is important because a big mistake that I see a lot of beginners make is that they follow a program that doesn't train every single muscle. They follow a program that neglects a few muscles that are very important. So, for example, shoulders and traps. So the schedule was as follows. You don't have to follow the schedule, but this was the schedule I followed, and I highly recommend all beginners try it. Shoulders and traps. Now, the shoulders and traps are important because most beginners don't train traps, but it was also very good because the shoulder exercises they gave me, they targeted all 3 heads of the shoulder. And a lot of beginners, they don't train their rear delts because A, they don't know about it, and B, they're hard to train properly because you can't see them. And C, they're hard to contract if you don't know how to properly isolate them, if someone's not teaching you. But they included rear delt training, which is very important, again, because a lot of beginners don't train them, which leaves them having um, you're leaving a lot on the table by not having it prevents you from having well developed and well rounded shoulders, because you only have 2/3 of it filled out if you don't train rear delts. But when you train rear delts, you have a full shoulder. All right, so shoulders and traps. And with shoulders, we train all 3 heads: front, side, back. Step 2, lats and biceps. But biceps were important because when you're training biceps, you want to train both heads of the bicep, okay? And the workout routine had both heads. So when you train, you want to make sure you have a workout routine that trains both heads of the bicep, okay? And chest, okay? Chest and tricep was Wednesday, okay? Now chest was good because they had a lot of upper chest work, okay? When it comes to this is a bodybuilding routine, okay? So you're gonna get stronger on this routine, but it's also for bodybuilding. And having a well-developed upper chest is very important for bodybuilding and aesthetic purposes. And a lot of guys, they don't train their upper chest because they don't know any better. They don't realize they have to. But in order to have a well-rounded, well-developed chest, you have to train upper chest. You have to isolate the upper chest. So the routine included upper chest. And so my Wednesday was chest and triceps. But triceps were important because your tricep has 3 heads. But if you don't know any better, you might just train 2 out of the 3 heads, which, similar to training shoulders, if you only train 2 out of the 3 heads, it will leave you with an arm or triceps rather that are underdeveloped, right? You have 2 heads that are developed and ones that's lagging behind, and then it'll just look weird and it will be bad for bodybuilding purposes. All right, and step 4, this is also very important. I trained hips. When I trained legs, I trained literally every aspect of the legs. So both hips, the adductors and abductors, the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, and the calves, okay? These are very important. Like a lot of beginners, for example, they don't train their hips directly anyways. They don't train their glutes directly anyways. And some might even neglect hamstring work because, they're kind of hidden in theory, like from behind. But you want to train every aspect of your legs because it will allow you to have stronger and more well-developed legs. Like they'll literally be bigger if you train all these at once. And again, this is a bodybuilding routine. It's literally how to get bigger. Okay, you'll get stronger, but it's primarily for bodybuilding. Okay, bodybuilding is not powerlifting; it is bodybuilding. So you want to hit literally every aspect to have a well-developed, well-rounded physique. Now, also, what's also incredibly important, and doing this will speed up the rate at which you develop muscle significantly. Okay, and that is learning how to properly contract every muscle. And this is a phenomenon called mind-muscle connection. And mind-muscle connection is your mind's ability to feel the muscle you're training at any specific time. Okay. So, for example, whenever you're training chest or whenever you're doing a movement that's not a compound movement, um, and even sometimes with compound movements, if the weight's light enough, you want to literally feel the muscle you're training when you're training it. Okay, right? So like when you're doing a fly, you're technically using shoulders, triceps, and chest, but it's a chest isolation exercise. So you should feel the majority of the work in your chest, right? And so in order to do that, you have to have a strong mind muscle connection, and this takes time to develop. So what I recommend every beginner to do, and what I did was I went on YouTube and I searched how to do. Just go on YouTube. If you don't know, if you can't properly contract the muscle, right? If you can't properly feel your chest in a chest isolation exercise or your tricep in a tricep exercise, you want to go on YouTube and you want to search how to properly contract or how to properly do a cable fly, and you want to watch a video from a professional bodybuilder, someone who's an IFBB pro, because these guys have the best physiques in the world, um, right? So these guys literally train. Um, they do this for a living, right? Like they know how to properly contract their muscles because they do it for a living. So if you go on YouTube and search how to properly contract chest or mind muscle connection shoulders, mind muscle connection chest, and watch videos from IFBB pro professional bodybuilders, right? Not just your average big guy, but you want to watch it from an IFBB pro professional bodybuilders, or yeah, because there's a lot of bad information out there. So you want to get this from a bodybuilder, okay? And I want to put special emphasis on learning how to contract your lats, because I'll see a lot of guys who are new to the gym, and even guys who have been in the gym for a year who are starting to get okay physiques, but they're underdeveloped in certain areas. And specifically, they're oftentimes underdeveloped at their traps and their lats. And this is usually because A, they don't train traps, right, which is very important. And B, they don't know how to properly contract their lats, okay? Because their lats specifically are a very hard muscle to contract, especially for beginners. So if you're a beginner, which you most likely are if you made it this far in the video, go on YouTube and search videos on how to properly contract your lats. And again, you want to watch videos from professional IFBB pro bodybuilders. So a little anecdote about me. I was training for about a year. My physique was getting pretty solid, pretty well developed for a year in. But I noticed that my lats were underdeveloped compared to the rest of my physique. And that caused me to realize that I wasn't properly contracting my lats. I knew I was doing something wrong. So I went on YouTube, searched how to properly contract my lats. I had to reduce the weight by about 60% so I could properly learn how to use mind muscle connection. And after that, my lats blew up in no time. Okay. So if you learn how to properly contract every single muscle, right? If you learn mind muscle connection for every single muscle, it will greatly increase the rate at which you build muscle, because bodybuilding is all about mind muscle connection, filling the muscle you're training at any given time. Okay. And step three, once you master this, I would master mind muscle connection for about 6 to 10 months. It'll take some time, right? Like I don't want to sit here and say I've mastered it, but I mean I pretty much am pretty comfortable isolating any muscle I want to at any given time. It takes a long time for mastery, but anyways, once you're confident in your ability to contract every single muscle that you train, all right, at any given time, and I'll say you can elevate once you can do an exercise you've never done before, um, after training for a couple months and properly contract the intended muscle, right? So if you go to a new gym and you try a new lat machine and you can properly contract that muscle, you can elevate to training every muscle 2 times a week. And in my experience and in my observations of others, and according to literature, which may or may not be important, training every muscle 2 times a week is optimal for muscle growth. It's optimal for bodybuilding. And so what I recommend is, and what I did is, um, push pull legs heavy the first 3 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Friday, push pull legs heavy, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, push pull legs high volume. Okay. So your push exercises would be like chest, any exercise in which you push, so chest, shoulders, tricep. Your pull would be any exercises in which you pull, so lats, traps, biceps, and your legs would be your legs. You want those to be heavy. So I kept those in the 3 to 8 rep range, and I increased like a rep every week or so. More in my beginning stages, but I wouldn't go above 3 to 8 reps. And then push pull legs high volume would be, anywhere from 8 to 12 reps, and I'll increase the weight or whatever after 12 reps. This was years ago, but anyways, the purpose of the high volume day, I is to get more volume in to build more muscle, right? So My high volume days are about 65% of my heavy days, the strength load. I train at about 65% of what this is. And I do drop sets and supersets. And the purpose of drop sets and supersets are just to allow for better muscular growth. So the purpose of the volume is to get hypertrophy in and just build muscle. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. This is the best bodybuilding routine for beginners. It's what I did. It's how I got jacked in 16 months. If y'all are interested, I offer coaching. Links in the bio. How to bodybuild, how to get shredded, how to get jacked, all that good stuff. Links in the bio. And if y'all like the video, like, leave, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.